is Maria Anna Rafek, and I am a professor and sustainability coordinator here at Joliet Junior College. As sustainability coordinator, part of the responsibility of the sustainability committee is to be able to, maybe I better start with the definition of sustainability. Here at JJC, we define sustainability as three pieces. Of course, the environmental piece, the economic piece, and then the social equity piece. I tell my students maybe a better way to remember that would be people, planet, and profit. And so as sustainability coordinator and as a member of our sustainability committee, our goal is to make sure that the decisions we make here at Joliet Junior College are wrapped around all three of these, and hopefully equally considering all of them. So when the concept or the idea of potentially coming through the property, which was proposed before to the south, but this time it would run through the natural areas, of course, that was an issue to the committee in regards to the people, the planet, and the profit. Oftentimes people put the planet first, environmental first, but the only reason we need to be concerned about the environment is because we need it for our survival. Air, water, food, and then hopefully shelter.
So thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about something I hold pretty dear to my heart. So question number one is, what is a fen? How do they form? A fen is really a type of prairie, low, wet prairie. We call it calcareous prairie. What's calcareous? Calcareous is a carbonate, very alkaline, which means the opposite of acid, and high mineral content. So water that percolates through the ground. Here we have dolomite, people call it limestone, very close to the surface of the soil. Water percolating through that limestone oozes out into this fen area for plants and animals that are restricted to a fen habitat.
Hello, my name's Andy Neal. Fens have a unique soil pH that's above 7 on a pH scale, 1 to 14. So anything higher than 7 is considered alkaline, basic. Milk would be a good example of something you drink that has a alkaline or basic kind of texture and pH. And that's the same thing with fens. On the other end of the spectrum are acidic wetlands known as bogs. That in itself kind of creates the unique conditions that allow for certain plants to develop in those communities. The other feature about a fen is that it forms a peat kind of soil that is plant material that hasn't completely decomposed. Peaty soils are really good at absorbing and holding lots of water. And so, like other wetlands, fens are good at holding water after large storm events and then slowly releasing them into the local waterways, preventing flooding. So there's also another type of wetland called swamps, and those are typically forested wetlands, swamp forests like the cypress swamps of southern Illinois and the deep south. But all of these are important bodies of water. Not only do they help to store water, but they also support unique set of plants and animals. Fens support a unique group of plants, including the great blue lobelia, great angelica, marsh marigold, turtlehead, just to name a few.
Does a fen have any connection historically to events or legends here? I don't know. There is an interesting dolomite fence wall that runs through campus. It used to run through what we call the temporary buildings on campus. That part was mostly big, round, granite glacial boulders. But that fence line, the Dolomite line, are exactly north-south on one of the section lines. Why it's there? Probably it's old enough that it was placed there even before there was barbed wire. Barbed wire is a relatively new invention. So the original pioneers, settlers out here, this was all prairie land, very few trees. If there were any trees, they wanted those trees for burning for fuel for the winter or building a house or a barn. So probably started to build a fence out of available rock. This dolomite's very close to the surface. I've heard people talk about a Civil War prison camp, but we have no evidence of that. No written evidence. We did go around with a metal detector looking for a round lead ball or a square nail or something, or a brass button. We didn't find anything. So the wall is probably historically to keep cattle out of what ground was deep enough to plow and plant, and the rest, very shallow soil, too shallow to plow, was what we have now as our campus prairie land, and the low-wet area, our prairie fen. So historically, that fence may have had something to do with preserving the fen originally.
So as I understand it, the current property that we call the JJC main campus was once a farm owned by the Richardson's family, and it was effectively donated to the college for a couple of bucks, I believe. And the college was laid out to accommodate the natural features. So we had a nice mix of campus buildings as well as natural areas. So during its initial stages of planning, Dr. Zales was able to be a part of determining the location for the natural areas and the nature trails.
So, of course, this land was out of the outskirts of Joliet. There was nothing out here. It was farmland, an airport, and a golf course. That was it. Hubolt Road was not called Hubolt. It was not even a paved road. I thought for sure they would locate the buildings up near the road. But the architects wanted to use the natural features, so they built the campus across the pond and around the pond in a very nice natural area. But I think I did have some influence on protecting the fen. The original design was to have a road that went way out to the north and around and into the north parking lot by J Building. And I said, why are you building the road out there? The architect said, well, so it will match the road to the south. It'll be symmetrical. Well, the only people that would notice that symmetry is someone in an airplane. So I said, no, save money, make the road, what's the shortest turning radius you can make into the J parking lot? So they shortened it. I was impressed. They did listen to me. And also, that spared the fen. That was very important in saving that rear area.
Fens, by their very nature, are rare. They, because of the unique geologic and biological origins, they were never very common. There are a few that still remain intact as dedicated nature preserves in various counties. A couple of examples include the Lockport Prairie, Keepataw Prairie, both of those are in Will County. Further north in Cook County, there's the Bluff Spring Fen. So here at JJC, we have a unique natural area in fen that has the same kind of qualities that gets protection at the county level.
One of the things when we talk about the value of environment, you know, how do you put a price on it? Oftentimes people will use the word mitigate. We're going to mitigate it. You can't mitigate death. When you destroy something, it's gone. It's gone. You can build another pool over here and pretend, but you've destroyed it. You've taken away its quality, and you've taken away all the pieces of it.
What's putting our fen in danger? Well, Development. What else can we say?
First, it was expanding agriculture. In order to expand the acreage, wet prairies, fens, and marshes were drained to expand the amount of acreage for agriculture. And then with demands for urban and suburban development, those same agricultural fields were converted into subdivisions and malls. And this is happening across the country and around the world.
There's a plan to build a road across Rock Red Creek so that there can be developed land on the west side of Rock Red Creek.
Our fen currently is under threat from a proposed road that's being planned by a developer to our west, Cullinan Properties. And in order to better access their properties, Cullinan has proposed a road directly through the natural areas and the fen.
My name is David Keevish. I'm a student here at JJC, also the president of the Collegiate Club Council, and I was named Student Leader of the Year 2016 and 2017. If they put a road through the fen, they're going to create a giant bottleneck on the north side of the campus, and not to mention all the people that are going to now cut through this neighborhood with the elementary school as a shortcut to McDonough just to get to where they're going.
My name is Cami Provencher. I'm a student at Joliet Junior College, coming up on my sophomore year with a major in environmental science, and I've helped make the brochure and helped Professor Neal with the fen movement. I think it would just inhibit not only the students, but it would also inhibit, community members, because there would be more traffic, more pollution, there would be more flooding. We also use the fen for biology classes, which would inhibit the students' education.
The Will County Forest Preserve has protected land north of the campus. We're part of that big protected area. They have already said that they will not allow development on their land, which is, why do you have a forest preserve if you allow development? It would really be an outrage if the campus gave up the land, this really rare habitat, for someone else's profit.
We have tens of thousands of people right on this campus, and I think most of them are unaware of the fen. I think most of them don't realize that they're driving down an arboretum when they come in or when they leave this portion of the campus. I will say this in defense of everyone: people have a lot of things going on. They come, they go. It's a job. They come, they go. Students, have you guys ever thought about the fen before? You got classes, and you got your job, and you got your life. I mean, that's one of the cool things about a community college is we have students who aren't here focused on going to school and live here 24/7. We have students with a whole other rich experience in lives, and our faculty. Our faculty's like that as well.
What action can students take to preserve and appreciate the fen? Demonstrating, use it, write letters, petition. It's very impressive that we're having a Earth Month.
They could sign the petition that we have going around. They could voice their opinion at the Board of Trustee meetings that the college holds with the College Board of Trustees. They could also contact myself, or they could contact the leaders of the clubs that are environmentally aimed here at the college.
David Kevish, he's a student here at JJC. He's done a really great job. He made the petition. He has gone back and forth educating community members, the YMCA, students here, and he's just done a really great job advocating for the fen.
In this spring semester 2017, once students found out about the plans, they became involved in a petition drive where petition was put forth that opposed the road and the protection of the natural areas and fen. And as of this week, last week in April, there were 550 students, faculty, staff, community members that have signed that petition so far.
I would say most students are aware of our natural areas, but I would say before the petition and everything, students weren't really aware. I mean, it is rare in itself, so I think with its rarity, the fen, not a lot of people know what it is. I didn't even know what it is until I made the brochure and I did research. So I think there's more education now and awareness.
Here again, this fen project, this natural areas project, it's a statewide issue. It's a countrywide issue. When we live in a place, and I'm sure somebody said, you know, the state of Illinois, the prairie state, we have 0.01% of our prairie left. You know, how small can that number be and it be acceptable?
I'm not an economist or economist, so I don't really know about the project itself, whether it's good or bad for the local economy, but I do know that the road is a very bad idea through the fen, and there are other options. The developer themselves said that they have an alternate route to go around to McDonough if it was necessary, and it would also allow traffic to flow much more smoothly out of that development area.
As an environmental science major and as someone who takes a lot of care and love in the environment, I would just say I feel it's my duty, you know, to help preserve the fen and just cherish what rare, you know, landform we have here at JJC.
You only lose battles. In conservation, you win a battle until the next person comes up with some harebrained idea to destroy it. Once you lose it, you've lost the battle forever. So don't give up the fight. Don't quit. It's certainly worth protecting. It makes the campus much, much more valuable.